My name's Tim Murray. I'm the CEO of the Yarra Junior Football League, and I'm pleased to bring you today a bit of a discussion around head injuries and concussion generally in the YJFL. Is there a difference between the effect of concussion on children versus adults, Alan?
What we do know is that kids do take longer to recover after a concussion than adults. Kids are not as effective at reporting their symptoms. We're not here to stop anyone from playing, but we just want to make the sport safe. So yes, there will be concussions, and if there is a concussion, then we do the right thing. We take it seriously. We get the best care rather than just sort of saying, oh look, it's just a head knock, you'll be able to go back next week.
Approximately one head injury, a little bit more than one, maybe 1.1 per team per year now. Do you think that means that we're entitled to say that it's safe to play junior footy generally, and obviously in this study it relates to the Yarra Junior Football League? Oh
yeah, absolutely. That's not a high rate, so not by any means. So I think it certainly shows that junior footy and in the Yarra Juniors is safe. But it is, it does happen. So I guess just need to be aware, and if it does happen, we don't dismiss it.
That we're really treading new ground here about what injuries occur at what level of severity and what that means for the game's development in order to make it as safe as it possibly can be. Would that be a fair summary?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's important that we are able to at least collect data. We've got to make sure that we're doing it for the betterment of everyone involved in the sport.
Yes.
But we do have to collect data in order to inform us how to respond to it and address it and make it better.
Tell me what your recommendations were to the Yarra Junior Football League about dealing with the return to play decision by parents and families.
Oh look, I think to put it simply, I think I sort of said we need some objective measures.
Yes.
We need to have something that can actually show that the brain has fully recovered. A simple way, a relatively quick way.
Yes.
And there is a number of technologies that are coming through now that they can address that.
What would you say to players and families about being honest with themselves and with their coaches about how they're feeling in relation to a head knock?
Different countries have different things, but one of the things that we like to say worldwide is, if in doubt, sit it out. People don't want to acknowledge that they've been concussed because they're scared that they won't be selected next time, or they might be seen as weak, or they don't want to let their teammates down. So we need to change that culture around that.
So Shane, you've offered to help the Yarra Junior Football League in taking equipment around to the clubs so that we can go to the clubs and the players themselves. Can you just describe what you're going to do to help us with that?
The best time to gather these baseline tests is a training scenario midweek. So the intention is that we're taking the unit out to various clubs and grounds. Given the fact that it's 10 seconds per test, it is really quick.
The baseline test is important as starting that awareness within the community. Could you just talk about that?
That's probably the first thing we're looking to get out of the baseline test, is the familiarity of the device and get people comfortable with using it. Beyond that, then there is the more science behind it. To do that test, know that person's baseline at a certain score, and have that as an anchor point really. So if they are unfortunate to have a head knock during the season, we can go back to that anchor point as we monitor them through their recovery period.
Our players and families know that we've got the medics at the grounds on game day. So can you just talk a bit about the work that the medic does and the tests that EyeGuide do and the doctor's assessment of the player then?
So step one is obviously on game day, the medic teams will be there, and if there's any doubt at all, the player should be sitting out the rest of the game, whether it be from a GP or at the hospital. That step two is about the diagnosis and setting in place a care plan for the player. EyeGuide in general is used at step one and step two as well, but in this instance, I think the majority of the benefit will be in step three. The player coming to the balloon, doing their tests. We can test them as frequently as the player and the parent want to, and depending on how slow or quick their recovery is, we can help with that process.
The decision about return to play is in the parents and the players and the medical advisors' hands. Is that a fair summary?
But yeah, I think the player and the parent needs to be taking heavy guidance from the doctor on what they're saying, because they are the most informed and the most experienced and qualified individuals. So yeah, all the decisions should be made by themselves.